Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. Warriors owner Joe Lacob is not satisfied with the team this season and may make drastic changes in the summer, where he intends to sign a big star to play alongside Stephen Curry and seek another championship. He may also make changes to the front office, and coach Steve Kerr is at risk of being fired, forcing the Warriors to begin a new era with a new coach. The trade deadline has passed, and the Golden State Warriors would probably be beating the air right. Despite putting an end to the Jonathan Kuminga saga, the Dubs couldn't land Giannis Antetokounmpo or even any other Jimmy Butler replacement, for that matter. As if that wasn't pressing enough, now the storied franchise has to worry about its head coach, Steve Kerr's future. The former Team USA head coach is in the final year of his two-year, $35 million extension signed in February 2024. While at that time, Kerr stated that he did not have any problems with the franchise not offering him another extension and was comfortable to lead the team, recently, there have been a lot of rumors surrounding him. Is Jalen Brunson signed to Kobe Bryant? According to a report from The Ringer last month, Steve Kerr's assistant coaches were quietly looking for jobs next season, operating under the premise that this will be Kerr's last run. However, that doesn't mean the championship-winning head coach wants an exit as well. On the contrary, he wants to finish his career with Stephen Curry. Well, I would never leave him. I can tell you that. I love Steph, Kerr said recently while speaking with Dan Patrick. I'm so incredibly lucky to have coached him for 12 years. I think every coach kind of dreams of coaching somebody like Steph, who is arguably the greatest face of the franchise of any player who's ever lived. And I will never leave him. I can tell you I'm not going to become a free agent and go sign with another team to coach, Kerr further emphasized. But it all has to play out with the organization, but yeah, hopefully that's how it ends up. But you never know. The 60-year-old statement clearly indicates that he doesn't want to leave the organization anytime soon. And, could you even blame him? Kerr has spent over a decade with the team and won 4 championships during that time as well. So, it's only right for him to decide to get through with the rest of his coaching years with Curry and the Warriors. However, that decision, unfortunately, won't be only his to make, something the Dubs head coach knows all too well. It's up to Mike and Joe Lacob, Steve Kerr says regarding his future. We're just months away from the end of the 2025-26 season, which for the Golden State Warriors could end sooner than expected. Despite that, the Dubs front office seems to be in almost no hurry to agree upon a new deal with their longtime head coach, Steve Kerr. Although he didn't seek an extension before this season, now that he does, he's put the final decision in the hands of the front office. It's up to Mike and Joe, Lacob, Kerr told ESPN's Anthony Slater. I'm in the last year of my contract, so nothing is guaranteed going forward. I always believe that they should do whatever makes the most sense for the franchise. But you do have Steph Curry and Steph still playing at a high level, and if there's something we can do to give Steph more help, we should do it. Reportedly, Steve Kerr is after all interested in an extension with the Warriors. Having said that, the main reason why he hasn't signed one yet is his demand for more money. As we mentioned, Kerr is currently making roughly $17.5 million per season. Now, the veteran is looking for a hike, which has been a point of tussle between him and the front office. The Warriors haven't been playing as per the expectations this season. While not a lot of that has to do directly with Kerr's coaching, as Jimmy Butler suffered a season-ending injury along with several other factors playing a part, he also has to take the blame to some extent. So, that could be a reason why Mike Dunleavy and company are pushing back the talks. Still, we continue to monitor this situation closely. The Warriors had hoped to sign Giannis Antetokounmpo and failed, but would they manage to do so in the summer? The Golden State Warriors struck out in their bid for Giannis Antetokounmpo as the Milwaukee Bucks decided to wait for the summer to deal the superstar in the hopes they can command a better return or even convince the wavering Antetokounmpo to stay. Ultimately, the package of Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podziemski, for unprotected firsts, and a first-round pick swap that Golden State put on the table was not enough to pry Antetokounmpo away from the Bucks, forcing the Warriors to pivot to acquiring Kristaps Porzingis for Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield. Heat at Celtics NBA betting preview. Game betting preview for February 6, 2026, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's next for Golden State in the wake of failing to obtain the one player who could give the rest of this season some purpose and meaning? What's next for Stephen Curry and the dynasty he built in what feels like their twilight days? The Warriors sit at the tail end of the Western Conference playoff picture, barely holding on to the 8th seed as they continue to slide in the aftermath of Jimmy Butler's season-ending torn ACL injury. At present, Curry remains out of the lineup as he tries to heal the patellofemoral pain syndrome, runner's knee, plaguing his knee, while Jonathan Kuminga slowly works his way back from a bone bruise in his own knee. That leaves Steve Kerr to field a star-less, uncompetitive rotation featuring talented hyper-specialists, who could be winning contributors in the right system but are ultimately not enough to contend in the West without adequate star power. With that set of circumstances in mind, it makes for a tepid and underwhelming watch for a Dubs fanbase used to titles, deep playoff runs, and winning. To express the bleakness of Golden State's current situation is obvious. To spell it out is sobering. The big questions on Golden State's horizon. Golden State finds itself falling into basketball purgatory, otherwise known as the soulless abyss where teams that cannot tank and cannot compete reside. And in the deep, dark pit that is basketball purgatory, hard questions about a franchise's future have to be asked. With Curry plagued with ailments that can only be described as old man injuries, will the Warriors consider shutting him down for the season? If contending is no longer on the table, perhaps the best move in the short term is to preserve their franchise cornerstone's health, no matter how tough a sell that will be to the fans, the team, and Curry himself. Is Curry really gonna sideline himself, even if it's in his health's best interest? Regardless, those are the kinds of questions the Warriors have to ask themselves. They also have to ask themselves about Kerr, their legendary head coach, who's not under contract next season. Kerr and Curry have maintained that they want to ride into the sunset together as player and coach. But given where the franchise seems to be headed, is Kerr interested in commanding the transitional rebuild effort? Are the Warriors interested in Kerr at the helm of a full-on teardown? Publicly, Kerr remains adamant that those are questions for the offseason. But this season has wrought moments of visible frustration. And The Ringer reported that his coaching staff is operating under the assumption Kerr won't return. Not to mention owner Joe Lacob's strange emails to random fans citing disagreements with Kerr's coaching decisions. Have the crumbs been laid for a seismic departure? Going down swinging. Without Antetokounmpo, what's left for the Warriors, at best, is a spirited first-round exit. While they struck out at the deadline, nearly every other Western Conference team beneath them in the standings chose to punt. The Clippers dealt James Harden and Ivica Zubac for an injured Garland and future picks. The Mavs and Grizzlies booted their star big men. Portland's still pushing, but the Jazz and the rest of the pack are too far behind. Even without Jimmy Butler, we can make a playoff run, Kerr said. The ceiling is absolutely lower. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say we can be as good as we were with Jimmy, there's no way. But if their spirited come-from-behind 101-97 win over the Phoenix Suns, mere hours after one of the roughest trade deadlines in recent memory, both emotionally and broadly, is an indication of how they're attacking the final 30-something games of the season, they'll go down swinging. Because in some ways, Porzingis' intriguing upside does provide some hope. And the leaps of fan favorites like Gue Santos, Pat Spencer, and Moses Moody have been significant. Those three had their fingerprints all over the 16-2 run to shock the Suns. And sure, the Stephen Curry show will always be a must-watch. While sidelined with runner's knee currently, the euphoria and joy Curry exuded after the Warriors' gutsy win show he's as locked in as ever with this team. There's honor in fighting bravely as the ship goes down. For as bleak as it seemed in the immediate wake of the trade deadline, the Warriors showed they don't have to go meekly into their impending purgatory. Projecting the Warriors' starting lineup and rotation after Porzingis trade. On Thursday, the Golden State Warriors officially acquired 7 feet 2 inches center Kristaps Porzingis from the Atlanta Hawks for Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield. Porzingis is expected to make his debut on Monday. What should the Warriors' starting lineup and rotation look like following the trade? I cover that and more in the minutes distribution prediction below. Jalen Brunson dishes on former coach Jay Wright. Starters, first 5 minutes of first, third QS. Lineup, Steph, Melton, Moody, Green, Porzingis. Porzingis is averaging just 24.3 minutes per game this season, and Melton continues to be on a minutes restriction of about 25 minutes, so it's not obvious that this should be the starting lineup. But you can rarely go wrong by playing your 5 best healthy players, which is what the Warriors are doing here. Porzingis and Draymond Green will make a fascinating frontcourt pairing. Green has rarely played with a center who has Porzingis' shot-blocking prowess, 1.9 blocks per 36 minutes, and Porzingis' three-point shooting should give more space for Green and Stephen Curry to operate in the two-man game. Next 4 minutes of first, third QS. Lineup, Steph, Pods, Richard, Santos, Horford. Substitutions, Pods for Melton, Richard for Moody, Santos for Green, Horford for Porzingis. The Warriors essentially have no healthy small forwards after Jimmy Butler's injury, which means some combination of Moses Moody, 6 feet 5 inches, Brandon Podziemski, 6 feet 4 inches, and Will Richard, 6 feet 3 inches, will play those minutes even though they are undersized. In this lineup, Pods and Richard are interchangeable at the 2 and 3 on the defensive end. Gue Santos and Green are the only 2 natural 4s on the roster, so they will be checking in for each other throughout the game. Last 3 minutes of first, third QS. Lineup, Spencer, Melton, Moody, Santos, Horford. Substitutions, Spencer for Steph, Melton for Pods, Moody for Richard. Spencer will be playing all of the non-Steph point guard minutes. I'm purposely keeping Melton and Moody together. Their lineups have a plus 26.8 net rating, per cleaning the glass. With that said, one could argue the Warriors should stagger their minutes because they are the team's 2 best on-ball defenders. First 4 minutes of second, fourth QS. Lineup, Steph, Pods, Richard, Green, Porzingis. Substitutions, Steph for Spencer, Pods for Melton, Richard for Moody, Green for Santos, Porzingis for Horford. If Melton and Moody are going to play virtually all their minutes together, then Pods and Richard would play virtually all their minutes together as well. That could work well, as the Pods-Richard lineups have a plus 4.9 rating this season. Green is also intentionally kept with Steph. Green without Steph lineups have a minus 9.9 net rating, but Green with Steph lineups are plus 5.8. Next 4 minutes of second, fourth QS. Lineup, Spencer, Pods, Richard, Santos, Horford. Spencer for Steph, Santos for Green, Horford for Porzingis. Spencer plays his first stint with Melton and Moody and this stint with Pods and Richard. Lineups with Spencer, Melton, and Moody have a plus 22.9 net rating, while lineups with Spencer, Pods, and Richard have a stunningly good plus 41.0 net rating. We'll see if those lineups can continue to win their minutes without Butler and over a longer sample size. Last 4 minutes of second, fourth QS. Lineup, Steph, Melton, Moody, Green, Porzingis. Substitutions, Steph for Spencer, Melton for Pods, Moody for Richard, Green for Santos, Porzingis for Horford. We go back to the starters here, though it should be noted that this lineup could easily be changed to include someone else if they were having a great game. Curry will probably close every game, but I could see Spencer or Pods for Melton, Richard for Moody, Santos for Green or Horford for Porzingis. Final minutes distribution. Curry, 34. Melton, 26. Moody, 26. Green, 26. Porzingis, 26. Pods, 22. Richard, 22. Santos, 22. Horford, 22. Spencer, 14. Final thoughts. The biggest omission is Quinton Post. He's a restricted free agent in the offseason, and he's likely part of the Warriors' long-term plans considering Porzingis and Horford are likely to be free agents this offseason. With how often Porzingis and Horford could be either A, needing a rest day or B, out due to an injury, this issue will probably take care of itself. Post will play almost every game. The only other omissions are Gary Payton II and Seth Curry. Both will play as injury replacements, but otherwise they shouldn't see the court much. The Warriors have to prioritize the development of Moody, Pods and Richard, so the two veteran guards are likely to get a number of healthy DNPs.